First question, was I afraid of people stealing my product or my idea, and why? Yes, I was scared, but you need to be very careful that you don't get overly paranoid with that. It doesn't happen often. It's probably happened twice to me in 35 years of inventing. They don't normally steal from you earlier on. They wait for you to perhaps be successful, your product to sort of create the market. Then is the time they will probably steal from you. Maybe they'll copy it, and that it does happen, but it doesn't happen often. I did get my revenge. I managed to stop one of them, and the other one actually paid me an out-of-court settlement and became a licensee later on. So it wasn't all bad. I didn't use a lawyer for that, but it was quite a complex period in my life. Some intellectual property anyway is automatic. Copyright and design rights are quite strong, so that just may be enough to protect your item. A lot of people just think, oh, I must get a patent, I must get a patent. Not everything can be patented, not everything should be patented. I mean, generally, if you have a product which, say, can be patented and you think it's got a great market and it needs protecting, and perhaps even more so if you think about licensing, then a patent would be probably a good move to make. But it has to have some quality. It's got to be something someone scored in the art, wouldn't have considered. It's got to be totally novel, and it's got to have an inventive step. If it hasn't got that, then it's unlikely you'll get a patent grant. I mean, there are also many other things in intellectual property. You kind of mix it up a bit sometimes. Maybe you don't want a patent, but maybe your design rights, maybe you register that, or maybe you want to bring it to market, so you register a trademark. Again, it may be there's something secretive or some know-how in the production of your idea which is difficult to back engineer. Then that's enough to keep people away from it because they're not quite sure how you achieved it. Next question, what do I look for in a good product? Generally, I always say if it's cheaper and better, ideally both, then that's not a bad start. I generally know instinctively if I see a good product because I have that sort of feeling that I wish I had the idea myself. I think for sort of your first invention, if you can make it simple, then you have much more of a chance. I use a scale of 1 to 100 for that. 1 may be something like a small piece of plastic which every fisherman would want. It cost me a penny to make, and they'll pay £10 for it, and it has strong intellectual property. You know, it's a great one to start with. You're not going to have too much financial stress with that. On 100 scale, maybe I know a fuselage for a Boeing 747 design. You know, it could ruin you. You know, you'll lose your shirt and a lot more besides if you're not careful. So try and be realistic. The simpler it is, and the less complexity or the less interaction you require with large organisations, maybe then you've got, I think, much more of a chance of success. And you learn from your first one. You make mistakes. You learn. There's a learning skill, which is actually quite useful if you do it again, and maybe then you get a bit more, I suppose, daring, and maybe you add software, maybe you have electronics, and there's a great assembly aspect to it or whatever. So if you can, try and keep it simple at the beginning. I always also try and make sure it's the best solution as well. I mean, I see good design, but sometimes there's better, and if you look at corkscrews, there's thousands of versions over centuries, and they all take a cork out of a bottle, but some do it, I think, in a much sort of more sophisticated and stylish way. I always think about that one where you pull the sides down. I thought, what an amazing design, and I hope the inventor made some money out of that, because it was a brilliant design. Makes life much easier for people who haven't got the strength normally to open a bottle of wine. Final question, what inspirational message can I leave the viewers? Well, I don't know, I love inventing. I think you should, if you can, try and have fun with it. I think whatever happens, it's interesting. It's an interesting journey, and it's educational. You have every emotion, both good and bad. but you certainly know you're alive, and if you get it right, it's satisfying. I mean, I love going into a shop and saying, actually, that's mine. You know, it is satisfying, and but there are elements to it which you are making quite big sacrifices sometimes on finance and in time. But you know, it can all be worthwhile, and if you don't make it, it's still an education. Yeah. And that's it. I think finally I'd like to say thank you to GlobalWIIN for allowing me to do this blog. It's a great idea in a time like this. And keep safe, or as I say now, keep sane. Thanks very much.